Welcome to Journey Now, a podcast about following Jesus that takes on serious issues without ever taking itself too seriously. Each week, the pastors, staff, and friends of Journey Church in Brentwood, Tennessee, gather to catch up, share life together, and laugh a little. Okay, a lot. Maybe too much. But along the way, they also explore what it really means to bring heaven to earth, share Jesus' hospitality, and live cross-shaped lives. Part babble, part Bible, and occasionally even thoughtful and entertaining, this is Journey Now.
Hello, Journey family. This is Kevin, Grant, and Suzie, and we are here with
the most boring podcast
you're ever going to
all year long.
No, not the most boring. I've heard other boring.
This is going to be awful. No one's going to want to listen to this.
This is about our future as a church. It's about our past as well. First, our past,
not the present.
No.
Kevin, what is something that you said that you would never do? I mean, these are there are things that we should always remember, that we should never say never.
Never say never.
I said once upon a time, I said I would never move to Nashville.
Right.
I also said I will never work in
at
church
a church
ministry
again.
again.
Yeah.
And here we are. So what are some things you said that you would never do?
I would never get a root canal.
Without anesthesia.
Yes,
which is very painful.
Yes, I've heard about that before.
But one of the things I said shortly after, and Grant was instrumental in this whole process of building.
In traumatizing you.
Yes, it was traumatizing. When we renovated this building and did the addition, I got done with that and I said, that's it. I'm too old for this. I'm not doing this again. I'm not building another building, not for a church.
I think it was more like, shoot me if I ever say this.
I think it was.
If I ever bring up building a building.
I think somebody needs to remind me that I said I would never do this again. And thankfully, I have a bunch of people reminding me regularly. Yeah. You said you would never do this again.
And you can also say that the elders are not yes men and women.
No, not at all. They are not. And so we've had an amazing amount of growth at Journey, I think. Not just in...
Not that we're counting. Not that we keep track.
But that's not even the kind of growth I think that we're talking about. It's not even like a numeric growth. I mean, there are more people coming for sure.
Are you growing spiritually? Is that what you're talking about? Are we doing that here?
I would say yes, but I would also say relationally. And there's a cohesiveness that's happening that's not exclusive, but is really quite inclusive. And yeah, it's beautiful.
And one of our deepest core values as a church is hospitality. Mm-hmm. And part of what's happened over the last year has been we can't be as hospitable as we want to be, especially if you're a teenager or a kid trying to fit into our Sunday morning experience. So therefore, it also is a little off-putting to parents when they show up and they go, "Oh, we just don't have space for your kid." Mm-hmm. And it's not just a numbers in a room thing. It's safety. It's quality.
Yeah.
And we're really committed to that. So we do limit the size of people in the room. You're going to say something, Grant.
So I just want you to set the table for me here.
Okay, I'll set it.
Right?
I'm setting them up.
Set the table for me.
Yeah.
As a church right now, like, where are we financially, and what does it look like to be thinking about maybe kind of proposing the idea of a suggestion of a building?
Yeah, especially in this climate of who knows what our political parties are going to do these days. But as we've said over and over again, who really knows?
Yeah,
because it's just where we are, and it seems like it's uncertain all the time. So we're going to press forward. And with that, this is one of our best financial years since I've been here. We're ahead of budget. We're ahead of our expenses.
Whoa.
Yeah. And
it's never happened before.
Not in April.
Yeah.
Not since I've been here. And this is my 10th year.
Yeah.
So this is a first. And we're excited about that, but also a little puzzled, but at the same time, thrilled. And so it does give us a little more confidence that the direction we're heading is the right direction. Mm-hmm. But we would need the people of Journey to say, hey, we're in on this. We want to do this. And it's brought about by a couple of things that are colliding at the same time. And the need for more space for our teenagers and our elementary age kids and our kids in general. us wanting to be more hospitable, and we have a balloon payment on our mortgage, which is coming up in December 2026. We have to refinance in 2026, December. And so we would love to be able to raise enough money to be able to bring down our mortgage to match our rental income
because you get money from renting out during the week to Vine and for weddings and things like that.
Right, which would help us substantially. And then also raise enough money to build a 5,000 square foot building in a piazza out front of our current building.
A piazza?
Yeah, that's what you called it. Or also a
plaza.
A plaza.
Plaza.
No, actually, just a
piazza is nice.
And which really leans into our core values. We want to create a place where people want to come and be received into a very hospitable environment. Right now, it's a little sterile out there on our patio, and so we would like to enhance that. There's a picture that will show up on the YouTubers, right.
Wait, so back up a second before you do that.
Before you do that,
yeah, because I want to make sure people get
our understanding
the thing with the debt reduction first.
Okay,
right?
Yeah.
So right now, your mortgage is like $27,000 a month.
$25,100.
Okay.
Yep.
And to meet that payment, you have your income from your rentals,
right?
And then you also have to take some money from your giving,
right?
Yep. And so your goal is to make the mortgage payment in the future just be paid from
rentals.
Yeah.
So now anything that we get from giving can be used in the way that we want to as a community, for hospitality, for outreach, for growth, for whatever it is.
We can give it away.
Well, we could help our partners.
Not like get too rash.
Yeah, we can give it away.
Yeah.
Generosity is also one of our values.
Yep.
I think basic money principles is that our current mortgage is at 4.25%.
Yep.
And which is amazing. And but we are expecting quite an increase in what we'll pay for a mortgage rate. So we need to lower it by probably about $1 million of our principal, bring it down to closer to $2 million that we're financing than $3 million.
Yeah.
And that'll help us kind of match those two things up, where we're actually paying a mortgage that reflects more of what our rental income is.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's the goal.
Yeah.
And so rather than just say, hey, why doesn't everybody give $1 million towards the debt reduction? We're asking, we're putting these two ideas together because it's a lot more tangible to propose a building, a multi-purpose building for teenagers and kids and events and all kinds of things that we can.
And this is not, like you were going to say earlier before we were rolling, you were saying that this is not like a building that we want to build just speculatively because we want to grow, right?
No.
These are real current needs.
Yeah.
And for you, that's a big difference.
Yeah, like we're not building in order that we may grow. We're growing, and so therefore we're building because of that.
Yep.
And we're not building necessarily to actually put more seats in the gathering spaces for service. We're building to accommodate the growth of families and the types of gatherings we're doing.
Right.
So we're not just trying to get more people to come on a Sunday morning.
No.
We're trying to invest in the people that are already here on Sunday morning.
Yeah. And throughout the week. I mean, this building gets used pretty heavily, which is great, which is why we did it.
Yeah.
And
we built it this way and designed it this way so that we could share it.
Right.
And now we have the revenue stream coming in that maybe in the future is going to pay for the mortgage. So good job.
Which is awesome.
Yeah.
And so with that in mind, we've decided that now, 18 months away from having to refinance, that we're going to launch into this idea of, hey, is this for Journey Church a good idea? And we as a leadership team are saying, we think it is, but we need your input on that. That's what this is putting into motion. Back at the big table, if you were at the big table back in December, I briefly floated this with a lot of positive feedback.
In between karaoke and Mike.
Yes, in between.
For those who remember.
Yes, it was an eventful evening. And it did kind of, the feedback was positive. The feedback was, we probably need to consider this. And so as we consider it, we're at the stage now where we know how much it's going to cost to build the building, about $1.5 million, to build a 5,000 square foot multi-purpose building, which will be up on your screen, with a plaza for reception. And it alleviates a lot of our current space issues. And it helps with the ministry to the teenagers. It helps with the ministry to the kids. And it also provides another big space that we can use for other things.
So when you say big space, though, for those who are not spatially inclined,
it'll
you threw
seat
out a
probably
bunch of
200 people.
Number. Yeah.
It'll
okay.
seat
So
about
this
200.
isn't a new, like...
It's not a massive sanctuary.
Yeah. This isn't the mega church we're building.
No.
No, we don't want to be that. But it is a space that can be used for multiple things. It'd be a nice space for a wedding, or a nice space for a number of different
and just going back a little bit to what you just said, we don't want to be that. Like, I think that's an important thing to, like, we're not opposed to growth. We're not motivated by growth.
No.
And if we grow numerically to the point where even this is not enough space, then we talk about church planting before we talk about more building.
Right. Yep.
Yeah.
So you've got a building that'll maybe seat 200 people that you could use for ancillary events. You can use for pickleball.
Yes. It could function as a gym for sure.
Yeah.
But it can be, a place for the youth to gather. We have a partnership with Young Life. They meet here once a week. It's a great space for Young Life events.
Yep.
We could rent it out for weddings and events. We could, there's just a lot of things you can do with it. And currently with our student ministries, for example, on Sunday mornings, they have to walk through the children's wing to get upstairs to their room.
Yeah.
And all their volunteers have to walk up there. And so, we're very, aware of safety issues. We have a really great safety team. We background check everybody, but we really don't want anyone around our kids who are not authorized to be around our kids. So that's a big factor. I think we take into consideration.
It is, and it will. But it's also, if you've volunteered for winter shelter, winter shelter could take place in that space.
Oh yeah,
and not in our gathering space. It'd probably be a better space for that than what we have. Things like that. It just
and we could shelter more people. Even.
It changes the game a little bit for us to be able to enhance the ministry.
Just be more of who we already are.
Yeah.
So Suzie, I want you to talk a little bit about the piazza or the plaza or whatever this thing is.
The outdoor lobby.
The amazing patio.
Our front porch sort of.
Again, this is on the diagram that you can see on the picture.
Yeah, because, I'm asking you because you're the hospitality person.
Yeah.
Kevin and I don't really care.
But we do.
But this is a space that, you've seen it now. You've seen the grass that's out there. You've seen the flowers and the little tiny planter. And what does this change just in terms of on a regular Sunday? And then what might it change in terms of other things that you could do on that plaza?
Well, I think it gives us more space for outdoor experiences. So we try to maximize on the weather when it's good here. So when it warms up, we do food truck Sundays, for example. But then it gets too warm, and so it's hard to sit out there. But if you have a space where you can create some shade, where you can be outside but not die, that's a good thing.
It's good value.
Yeah.
That's a good thing.
That's important.
The other thing is I believe with the design of the new building, it opens up to the piazza. So you could have like a really smooth transition indoor outdoor space.
Yeah.
And that's a beautiful thing for events.
So you could even have like an outdoor gathering where you could have like people talking from the porch of the new building and then people seated, and it's like, what did Peter say? Like
300 people.
300 people that you could sit on. It's like a 6,000 square foot patio.
Yeah. And Peter is even more aware of the aesthetics of hospitality than I am. Like, he really thinks in detail about those things. So for him, that's probably the part I would think that he's most excited about, because just to create spaces that are not just hospitable, but that look like a place where you can belong. Like, I think when people come to church, for some people, like, you guys don't care about what things look like. Let's be honest. But for some people,
Mainly Kevin,
but that's a thing for people. Like, they look at something and they decide visually, is this something I could belong to? Now, we're not talking about like some extravagant, like overpriced, like, we're not spending stupid amounts of money on this that we could be using to feed people who need food. But like, it's more functional, and it's more, it just creates more environments that people will want to be in and build relationships in and enjoy together.
It will serve our everyone welcome at the table.
So this is all at a really preliminary
stage.
Like
Yes.
the drawings that maybe you saw, maybe you're going to see, maybe we won't show them at all.
And we'll
but those drawings,
I trust Edwin.
Those were Peter that we were talking about, is Peter Ellsworth, who
one of our elders.
He's been an elder and he's an architect, so he's sort of the expert guy, and he just sort of sketched it as a way of sizing the project, right? Like, what might we like to do, and what might be included in it? How big might it be? What might it cost? Right. So everything in those drawings could completely change.
Yeah.
But it gives us a starting point.
For sure.
What are you going to do now?
Yeah. So we want to invite you into the process. Into the process meaning we're going to make available to you a card in which you can fill out your interest on how you would like to participate in this financially, and also pray for us and just give us feedback in general. So there'll be a QR code that's coming out shortly that will send you to a landing page on our website. It'll have that sketch on it and have some other information there about just where we are in the process. And we will keep updating that. But the goal is to gauge the interest of you as you are Journey Church. If you are a part of Journey Church, we're going to try and gauge your interest in actually seeing this happen. We would love to get as much information back from you by June so that we can know when to engage in the process of the preliminary preparation process of engineers.
The 3 Ps.
Yes, of engineers and engaging with the city of Brentwood. So all that,
which is also one of your favorite things.
Oh, I can't wait. And
but so wait, this is, just so everybody knows, this is not a done deal, right?
Not at all.
You're sending out the thing now. We've come to the point where we sort of know what we think might be right,
would help us. Yep.
And what it might cost.
Yep.
So now you're formally putting it out to people and saying, hey, would you want to do this? Do you think this is the right idea?
Are we in agreement?
And are we in agreement? And if so, like, what would your part be in this?
With our goal being that we would raise $1 million towards debt reduction, $1.5 million for the building, and we would do that over the next 18 months prior to 2026, December of 2026, so that we can move into our next stage of our financing, but also move into the next stage of developing this property.
Yeah. So there's no manipulation. There's no coercion if it doesn't work. And in fact, the only reason now is by June, we need to know if we're going to start the process of hiring civil engineers and all of that,
and things.
Architects, all of that sort of thing. So this whole thing you're doing now is just to sort of get a feel for
We're not asking for people to give money by June.
No, we're asking
but they
them.
Can.
They can. Yeah.
Right.
True.
But that's like in a month.
Like
if you're watching this and you have like 2.5 in the bank,
feel free.
Yeah.
And again, this is us trying to figure out together. And if it doesn't, if for whatever reason we as a church, there isn't enough of we really ought to do this through the feedback that we get, we're going to be fine. Yeah. That's fine. We'll keep making it work the way it is. And that's fine. We think this is a better route, but it might not be the route, and we're good with that.
Yeah.
So the feedback you're looking for is
it'll be on the card, but
a financial commitment.
Yeah.
Not one that has to be fulfilled by June, but
and
just something that
over the next 18 months. What do you feel like you could give to this project over the next 18 months above and beyond what you normally give to Journey already?
And that's an important part of it, right?
Yep.
Because pastors still got to get paid.
We still got to maintain this. We still got to keep doing what we're doing while we try to do this other thing as well. Yeah. So I think that's the tricky part. That always is the tricky part. I'm excited about the possibilities, and for me to be excited about the possibilities,
I've never seen you excited about anything, really.
Let's be clear.
It was my
You're
idea.
the one who brought it up,
Yeah,
which was shocking.
Yes, to everybody
involved.
involved.
It might be the Lord. If
Yes.
You're the one who brought it up.
Yeah, it might be, or it was bad pizza, or piazza. But so be looking for an email that's going to come your way with written details about this. There will be, we'll talk about it on Sunday mornings. We will probably post an update here in a few weeks with another podcast, just where we're at. And please.
And also, like, little asterisk at the bottom is that we know that a lot of people in our community have come with a lot of bad experiences
PTSD.
with churches and financial abuse and just bad experiences.
Including all of us.
Yeah,
Yes.
including all of us.
Including all of us.
So if you have questions specifically about this process, if you have questions about where all of our money goes or, how it's spent, and we are 1,000% transparent, and you can call us and we'd be happy to
sit with you, talk with you, show you stuff.
Talk to Kevin because he puts the fine in finance.
He does.
Oh, there it is. There it is. But we're excited to see what God's going to do with this.
Yeah. Fun.
Thanks, guys.
That's it.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Journey Now. If for some bizarre reason you liked it, help us spread the word by leaving a review and sharing it on your socials. Journey Now is a production of Journey Church in Brentwood, Tennessee. Edwin Rivera III produces the show and fixes all the guest slurping, gum chewing, coughing, and other annoying sounds. Randy Hansen provides technical assistance, even though he denies it. Grant Opperman edits Journey Now and intervenes when necessary to tell the crew that you can't say that. Special shout out to dear listener Brad Erie and dear YouTube watcher Seth Erie. If there's anyone else who makes it through each week, we're so sorry, and thanks to you too.